Good afternoon, friends. This is Gaurav Sarup once again, um, hosting the webinar on innovative, affordable automation with robots. And I have with me two very eminent industrialists, Mr. Paras Doshi from HG Industries, Rajkot. He is into forging and machining of heavy components for automotive industry mainly. And Mr. Parag Mengele from Sinumro Nirman. He is also into a similar field that he forges and machines a lot of different size components, mainly bigger parts. And they are here because they not only are users of robot based machines or robot automated machines, but they are also very enthusiastic advocates for automation. I mean, they feel that the time for automation has come and we must adopt it very, very vigorously and derive the benefits of this. So, we already have within seconds, I'm very happy to say, within less than a minute, we have about 250 people who have joined us, and we'll wait for a minute or so and then we can start. So, basically, this lockdown period has been a period where a lot of learning has also taken place because we have attended webinars, we have read books, we have discussed and thought about our businesses and how we are going to restart them post the opening. And also, many of us have done a very deep analysis of, their complete operations from start to finish, where we are adding value, where we are losing value, because all this is going to be really important for our bouncing back after the lockdown, because we have to first of all cover up these losses of the shutdown. And there's another angle which I feel we should discuss, and that is the opportunity from China getting a bad name, rightly getting a bad name. So this seems simplistic at times, the way people, politicians or people say कि China की जगह अब India को मिलेगा काम. A lot of people will shift here. It's not so easy. It's not so easy. But it is something which I think all the uh, not just industrialists themselves, but their groups or the associations, like you have Forging Association. These people have to get together to really analyze how we can take advantage of this historic opportunity. To my mind, because I am having a small operation in US and I have my company there, office there, and in fact today evening I'm going to have a con call with our dealer and his team of 15 people. So I get the sense from what I hear in the US from my dealer and his friends and contacts, that people are really angry with China. They are really, really angry. They're mad, and they would love to, you know, change their suppliers. But our people have to sort of rise to the occasion. And unless we rise to the occasion by streamlining our operations, by automating wherever we can so that we have more predictable delivery, predictable quality, unless we do all this, this will remain a pipe dream, कि एक सपना कि हम we use this opportunity granted to us. This will remain a pipe dream. So with that, I will now start the presentation, and in between we will have discussions on answering specific questions, and also we can seek views of our panelists about this historic opportunity to replace China, because this I believe is a very important question. So today's topic of the webinar: innovative, affordable automation with robots. Now, there are some misconceptions about robots, that they are very expensive, and how can we justify the expense and payback period and all that. I would like to correct these misconceptions. First of all, robots are extremely flexible. and very, very reliable. And over the years, the cost has been coming down, so they are becoming cost effective. Second, the operation cost of robots is very less because they don't break down. They consume very little electricity. And I can say that probably robot is the most reliable machine on earth. We have seen cases from imported machines, old imported machines, where the machine has become junk, but the robot is removed and put on a new machine. That is how reliable they are. And the most important lesson, and what we are going to press this, rather, what we are going to explain today, is that if you use robots innovatively, the payback period is very, very small. So that is going to be the focus here. We are not going to talk about robots as such because I'm not an expert in robots. I am an expert in the use of robots, or rather innovative use of robots, so that the benefits are tremendous and you have a payback period for the project less than 2 years, which is our goal. Now, why are robots required for automation? Yesterday, we had a very popular webinar. We had more than 400 unique participants where we explained automation without robots. So, why do we need robots? First of all, the non-robotic automation, which is reliable and not jugadu, not jugad, reliable automation, it is only possible for small jobs which through gravity or vibrations can enter into the enclosure of the machine, where the grippers mounted on the slide of the machine, they are able to load and unload. So this is the scope. So if you want to have that kind of automation, you must have small round parts or hex parts or small shafts. That is the limitation. Now, if your job diameter is beyond a certain point, for example, we have supplied automated cells with robots for jobs up to 600 dia, up to 90 kg weight for flywheels, for very long shafts, for odd shaped jobs. So when you have these kind of challenges, there the robot is the best option because it is a very agile. It has got 6 axes, so you can move it in a very innovative manner here and there, and it is available off the shelf from capacities as low as 5 kg to 1500 kg. There are even bigger robots, but I'm saying, I mean, 5 kilo se 1500 kilo mein you can cover almost every job you can think of. So this is why robots are necessary. Now, the core theme of this webinar: how are robots used innovatively? So, how do we recommend the use of robots in an innovative manner? There are 4 ways. The first innovation is called placement or positioning, that you can place the robot in a very innovative manner so that it can do a lot of things and give high value. Second innovation is extending the range of the robot by using a 7th axis, which is a track at the bottom, on a track on which the robot moves. Because please note that when you see the specifications of any robot, there are 2 things. One is called payload, and other is called range. So payload, for example, if it is 12 kg, for a 12 kg standard robot of a standard make, let's say Fanuc, you will have a certain range. For example, it will be 1300 mm. Now, this becomes a limitation, that in this circle, only the robot can load, unload, or do any value addition. But when you add a track to it, either it can be a ground mounted track or it can be a pillar mounted vertical track and the robot is hanging upside down. So when you add a track, you extend the range of the robot so it can move far and wide. That's the second innovation, which we'll talk about and we will show today. Third innovation is by using it for other things like cleaning, washing, deburring, measuring. So this again, increases the value of the robot, value addition. So this is the third innovation. Fourth innovation is flexibility. This I will touch last of all, because this is a subject very close to many people, that we have small batches of 100 pieces, 200 pieces at one time. What do we do? So robots have some features which Marshall has particularly focused on, which make them very flexible. So you can quickly change over from one job family to another family, or within a family, smaller job, bigger job. So these are the four innovations: placement of the robot, extending the range of the robot with a track, increasing utility by doing multiple operations apart from loading unloading, and flexibility for quick changeovers. So the first innovation, placement or positioning. The format of today's webinar will be that whenever we explain a concept, we will first show you a slide where the outline of the concept will be explained, and then we will show you a small video clip, because as they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words and a moving picture is worth a million words. So my saying will not be that effective. Whatever I show it to you on a slide and explain, of course, and then the video. So this is going to be how we will move along. So first innovative use of robot is placement. So you see here the first example where a robot has been placed on the roof of a machine, and it's a twin machine, because majority of jobs are completed, turned jobs are completed in two setups, operation 10 and 20. So on a twin machine, you have operation 10 and 20, and you have a robot on the roof, so that space is saved. There is no need for any protective cage around the machine to save the passerbys or people who are doing loading unloading. So safety is taken care of, space is saved, and advantage is that because it is loading unloading through the roof, so the front doors don't open normally. They will open only in case you need to do some change of tool or something like that. So your coolant does not, the coolant mist does not come out every time your door opens. So these are some of the advantages. And one more innovation in this um, type of solution is that you have the cleaning and auto gauging stations on the roof, as you will see in the video. So the in-feed system is at the back. The robot picks a raw material, loads unload first spindle, turns it around on the roof, feeds the second spindle, takes out the job, dips it in water to clean, then cleans with air jet, and then puts it on a gauging station for inspection. So here the positioning of the robot and the instruments make this a beautiful, compact solution. So here's the video. Friends, I've been getting some messages that some friends are not able to see the video properly. There is a lag because of that would be because of the net connection. So my team will be sending you a request for feedback form. So once we get the feedback form, we will mail you a small page on which innovation wise, like we have listed the 4 types of innovation, with that heading, you will have the names and links, YouTube links of all these videos. So whichever video you're interested in, it will be very clearly mentioned. You just have to just click and see on YouTube. So that's a problem, unfortunately, because of poor net connection in many places. So kindly bear with us. I will try to explain as best as I can. In this case also, I explained all the operations before I showed you the video. So this is the first kind of innovation, placement. And that was the first example. The second example of placement is where we put two twin machines back to back, and in the middle we have a pillar and we put the robot there, and it loads and unloads 4 spindles, so 2 spindles on each twin machine through the roof. So this one of our guests today, Mr. Doshi, this is actually running in his factory. So this is another innovation where by using this kind of positioning, we kept the front of the machine clear so operator can do any next programming, he can do any other activity. And suppose he needs to change one tool out of the 4 spindles. So if he opens the door of that spindle, the robot will not come there. It will take care of the other 3 spindles. So when the tool change is done and the door is shut, then only the robot will come. And we have 3 gauging stations in this case mounted on the roof, again to save space. So it's a very compact, safe layout. So friends, as you can see, the robot is taking care of 4 spindles, loading, unloading through the roof. And the actual speed is more. This has been reduced so that things are very clear to you. And 3 gauging station छत पे हैं. And the raw material comes up a in feed system, inclined in feed system. So as you can see right in front here. So this is from where the raw material is picked up. So this was another example of innovative use of robots through placement or positioning of the robot. Now, this third example is where we have done lot of things with the robot and the machine and the other equipment. In this case, if you see on the left side, if you see my cursor, this orange colored thing, this is a laser marking station. The customer had a mandatory requirement of traceability from his foreign buyer. So each part after measurement had to be laser marked. On the right hand side, you see this machine. This is a very beautiful measuring system from Renishaw called Equator. So this is used where lot many things need to be measured, which a gauging station cannot do. So this is a option in certain cases. Now what we've done here is, because 2 spindles were producing the part, operation 10 and 20, and the customer also wanted a clean layout with minimum, no cage and all that. So we mounted the robot on the front of the machine using a track. The track enables the robot to cover a long, a big area. And you will see in the video that from picking up the job to first setup, second setup, then measurement, and then finally laser marking and putting it on a outfeed conveyor. This is the Renishaw equator, which is measuring the various dimensions of this part. So after measurement done, a robot takes the job to the laser marking station, and within 2 seconds, the job is marked, and then it is put on the outfeed conveyor. So again, this is an example of innovative use of a robot with the help of placement. Now, before I go to the next innovation, which is using a 7th axis or a track, I would like to ask Mr. Paras Doshi. Mr. Doshi, I'm trying to unmute him. Mr. Doshi, will you unmute yourself?
Yeah, I'm just doing that.
Yeah, Mr. Doshi, you have been one of the early adopters of robot-based automation. I remember you gave us the first 2 orders for 2 lines in early part of 2013. And now it has been 7 years.
Okay.
So my question to you specifically is that your confidence now with the evolution of technology and with the addition of new things, your confidence in robot-based automation has increased in these 7 years?
Oh, very much. It is unnecessary today. Today, that is the correct way to go forward. And the way you've been explaining it in this webinar is very, very clear, very, very good. The robot is very flexible, and you have to use the robot for as many things as possible because you can do it. And the idea of using the robot is not just do an operation 10 and operation 20 on a CNC machine, but do various of the operations for which you require the operators. And so, we have explained it very well that a robot can do many things, and it can place, it can work exactly the way you have programmed it. With smart gauging, you're sure of your quality. You don't require somebody to check the parts. You can really run it unmanned. That's the example that you have shown, which we have done at a factory, right? The robot is working on 4 spindles. We are doing gauging, complete gauging. Not only complete gauging, we are working in such a way that it's truly a line which works for 24 hours, because at any given time, at least 3 spindles are always running. Because if you want to change tools on one spindle, the other 3 spindles keep running because we are loading from the top. And, and the tool change only happens when you open the front door and change the tool. The robot does not go to that spindle, but it works on all the 3 other spindles.
Right.
So production never stops. Production is always on to at least 75% capacity.
Mr. Doshi, I have another question about the reliability of the robot. The first point which I made, that people need to remove the fear they have कि बड़ा महंगा है, कल को खराब ना हो जाएगा. I think you would agree that the cost of robot is nothing.
It is come actually down. And in fact, we've been using robots from I think 2006 or 2007 in our factory. We first started using robots on forging equipments. We are using robots to forge parts up to 550 kgs in weight, and we have had zero maintenance on robots, not at all. Using in hot forging or in cold forging, till today, our maintenance of robots is zero. In the beginning, we used to take AMCs. We used to use KUKA robots. We used to take AMCs because we used to have fear. What if something goes wrong? For the last 2 years, we haven't stopped taking the AMCs because nothing goes wrong. Actually, nothing goes wrong. You get enough training, you keep the maybe basic spare parts, and your people can repair it in-house. There's no big deal at all.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Doshi. Thank you. And now we'll proceed with the second innovation, or rather the second innovative use of robot, that is using a track or a seventh axis. Now, basically, as I explained earlier, a robot, the most popular form of robot, is having 6 axes, which enables it to be very dexterous, very flexible, loading, unloading, much more flexible than a gantry, which primarily is 3 axis, and it can move only in straight line. Now, sometimes what happens is that you have jobs where your machining time is in many minutes. For example, we have this, you can see this slide here. The job is a flywheel, a family of flywheels. And since it is made from raw casting, the machining time is 8 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 minutes per setup. Now, in such a situation, the robot will remain, even if it is loading 2 spindles, like Marshall is known for twin machines, and if we loading 2 spindles, still a lot of time is available. So the best thing to do in such circumstances is to use a seventh axis facility or function in the robot and make a linear guideway. It's like an axis of a lathe, long axis, Z axis. So you make a linear axis and you enable the robot to go far and wide so that it can not only do multiple spindles in turning, it can also take care of VMC or gear cutting or anything else, broaching, whatever operations. So the example you see over here is a cell for flywheel, which we have supplied in Belgaum, where 3 turning centers, big turning centers of Marshall, 3 Fanuc robo drills, that is VMC, drill tap center, 6 machines are handled by 1 robot. This video, friends, is not very good because it was shot with a handheld phone on site, but I still want to show it to you so that you have an idea how this cell is working. Here, the robot is now taking it to the VMCs. There are 2 VMCs which do operation 30, which is the drilling on one side, drilling tapping. And then there is one machine, one VMC, which does operation 40, which is the other side. So basically the whole line has been balanced in such a manner that there is no wastage of time. So 6 machines covering a large area are tended by 1 robot. Sorry once again for this video. This is shaky, but still I wanted to show it so that that concept of how so many machines can be taken care by the robot, that concept is clear. So this was the first example of use of 7th axis to extend the functionality of the robot by extending its reach so that it takes care of more machines. Now we will show you another example where there is a component called spindle. It's a forged component. And in this cell, there is a centering facing machine. And then there are two machines for the OD turning operation and two machines for the boring operation. And there are two smart correct gauging stations also. One for the OD, one for bore. So basically, the robot is tending to six spindles, two facing centering, two turning, two boring, six spindles, and two gauging stations. So just imagine how much work this robot is doing, thanks to the fact that it has a track and it has a very fast rapid, as you will see in the video now. So it's more than 80 meters per minute. So it is able to move here and there very fast and save time. But so this is an example of a very innovative use of a robot on a track to take care of six spindles and two gauging stations. Here, I'd like to request Mr. Paragji to also share some views, because he is also making heavy forged components. And we have been discussing, we have already done some projects for him. We are discussing more projects, and he's, I would like to ask him to express his views of how he plans to deploy more robots. What are his views about automation with robots? Paragji?
So while I was seeing the presentation, I saw a few questions like what are the possibilities of robot, whether it can operate 4 machines and a gauging station, a lot of other questions. So frankly, I think there is no limitation as far as what I would say is for the robot to operate. It is the same concept like the man-machine chart that we have. When the man is operating, it is the robot-machine chart. So if your robot is staying idle, like what we did, we started at our end with just 2 spindles and a robot. Then we realized that the robot is being idle. Then we added one more machine and a gauging station and might be a cleaning station. And I think the robot was able to operate at least 5 different stations with the same thing. And of course, I think the best place to implement the robot today would be wherever, like for us, the biggest problem is we are having components from 1.5 kgs to almost around 20 kg component. So I easily get operators to operate on a 1.5 kg or up to a 4 kg component, but getting operator for a 15-20 kg component, even if we are having cranes and other facilities,
Right.
which can aid material handling, it is very difficult because finally there is a lot of pressure and I think nobody wants to do a hard work. I think that includes me also, frankly. So it is the time that we need to start working or doing smart work. And I think robot could be the need of time, because if you look at the cost and the reliability to the unavailability of manpower, because on one end now, even the Indian, we are more into export, but even the Indian domestic OEMs are becoming very demanding. And so to cater to that, I think the cost of the robot would be much less compared to the risk involved with it. And
Right,
with the
sir.
COVID issues, I think things are expected to get worse with the manpower availability.
Right, sir. And you mentioned something that, you have jobs up to 20 kg and, people see, in my view, even if you have a job of 5 kg, now, if you
Yeah.
imagine a human being for 8 hours, he's loading, unloading a 5 kg job. It's like you go to a gym to do a workout and
Yeah.
आधा घंटा workout करके आपके पसीना निकल जाता है. Now, obviously, the efficiency of that poor person is going to drop over time. So, I don't think we need to justify anymore. It is self-evident that robot is the need of the hour, and it is so flexible and able to do so many things that the cost or a return on investment is easily within 2 years. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. Frankly, initially it looks a bit high, but if you have a business to support that, I think you need to go in for that. Even if you are 180% sure, you don't need not be even 100% sure. Even if you are 80% sure, you need to go for it, because you are going to get at least 20% more efficiency and at least around 40% more reliability
Right.
or delivery commitment from a robo compared to a man.
Correct, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now we come to the third innovative use of a robot. And this third use is that we use it for multiple operations, which earlier, maybe we thought this is something which very few people or can be done in very few places. But as we will show you here, that we can do so many things like deburring. Now, if you are doing deburring of any object through a person, it is much more difficult because every time he cannot repeat those movements while that high-speed tool is removing the burr. But with the robot, when you teach it, once you teach it, it becomes so easy. Every time it will do the same thing. Million times it can do the same thing. No tiredness or हाथ ऐसे का ऐसे हो गया. तो ये चीज बड़ी इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप उसको एक बार टीच कर दिया कोई भी काम, cleaning, dunking the job into some liquid, let's say, to remove some chips, or putting it in front of some air blast to dry it and clean it. It will keep doing it again and again and again, and you have to just spend some time in refining that cycle which you teach it, as you will see here now in this cell. See here, what we did was, this was at an exhibition, IMTEX 2015, where we showed that one robot is taking care of two turning spindles, it's taking care of a VMC, it is also taking care of a deburring, cleaning, air blast, and inspection with a laser. So all this we showed, and the VMC here is a dummy. We just fabricated something and put a fixture just to show the concept that, okay, here we can have a VMC. So please see this video. This job is also flywheel. It's a smaller sized flywheel. So the turning is completed in two spindles, and then this will take it to a VMC. This is a dummy VMC where we have shown a fixture, hydraulic fixture for clamping. So after this, it is going to do the deburring. This is the deburring station. As you can see, it is trying to remove the burr on the outer edge with the rotating tool, deburring tool. After this is a air cleaning station. There's an air blast, rotating air blast. So it cleans the surface. And then this is put on a measuring station, which is measuring with a laser, the diameter and the ovality at 2 different diameters. So this is a non-contact smart correct gauging station. And then finished job is put on an outfeed conveyor. So this is a complete manufacturing cycle and inspection cycle of a job with one robot. So this is an example of innovative use of robot. Now I will show you some examples of different lines or cells. And then we will come to the last part, which is the flexibility, flexible robots. So the first example is for a component called Tulip. As you can see here, this is a forged component. It's a cold forged component. And it is completed in 2 operations. One operation has more cycle time. So we use one robot to take care of 4 spindles. There are 2 twins machines opposite each other. So 4 spindles taken care of by one robot. And then it puts on a gauging station at the end of these 4 spindles, where it is inspected, and the spindle on which the part has been produced, if there is a very requirement for correction, it is auto corrected. उसके बाद दूसरा रोबोट उसी गेजिंग स्टेशन से उठा के सामने की तरफ जो आपको एंड में दिख रही है, this machine, as you can see on the cursor, this is another twin machine with 2 spindles. So 4 spindles for operation 10, where there is cycle time, I mean more cycle time, and 2 spindles for operation 20. So one robot over there takes care of 2 spindles, and it takes care of the gauging station for that operation. And then it puts the job on the outfeed, where it goes to the next operation, like spline rolling and all that. So I will just show you the video of this.
Gaurav sir, I think you are on mute.
Thanks. So this is an example of tandem working of robots in a line, which means one robot has capacity to do X spindles, in this case 4 spindles plus a gauging. From the gauging, the other robot takes the piece for the next operation and then puts it on the conveyor leading outside. This is how you can build entire lines on your shop floor, where each robot essentially hands over to the next and next and next, and you can structure these lines and have layouts suitable to your space. So this is one of the most beautiful lines that I have seen, and it's based in South India. I cannot take the name of the customer, but it gave us great satisfaction. It was very challenging, but you see it work, and it is such a beautiful sight. और 6 स्पिंडल 2 रोबोट टेक केयर कर रहे हैं, इंस्पेक्शन भी हो रही है, सब कुछ हो रहा है. So I will now request Mr. Paras Doshi to add to what we have recently seen about these lines and robots working together. Mr. Doshi.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Yeah, what you showed is it's correct. You have to make robots work together in tandem, and cover the entire cell. Have robots moving on a rail, again cover the entire cells, and take it forward. I mean, it's very important that you keep adding and using the robot to its maximum possible use.
Right.
Good. Cycle time study is very important to ensure that how much the robot can do.
Paras bhai, I'd like to ask you something and say something, and then take your views, because you also travel a lot abroad and you have a lot of customers in various countries. What I have seen is that maybe because the cost of a person in the West is much more, so people are somehow satisfied if they are even taking care of one spindle with one robot, or maybe they are more lazy or whatever. Here we try to maximize the whatever we can do, maximum number of spindles, other jobs. What is your view?
Well, also abroad, wherever I've seen, if they're very heavy parts, then yes, one robot only takes care of one machine. But everybody everywhere is working on cells. Everybody using the robot to do multiple options to it. Everybody has started also abroad when labor cost is very expensive. Obviously, they first just replace the person by the robot.
Right.
Then realize that the robot can do much more. So why not create cells, and why not use the robot to its maximum use?
Right.
Like Avji also said, in India, people are not maybe moving into automation is because maybe labor is cheap, and it's a fear to start with. That's a big cost. It's a big investment to get into robots and all. You need technical teams, you need electrical teams, electronic teams who will handle it. You need special operators, more skilled to handle these things. But once you already start doing it, you realize that this is the correct way of doing it. It just makes life simpler.
So what you're saying is, initially डर लगता है, लेकिन एक बार पानी में छलांग लगा दो तो उसके बाद बहुत मजा आता है.
Yeah, obviously, you have to take that. You have to move. You have to take
that. One more question. When you have customers overseas and you have put up a automated line with a robot like this and auto gauging and all that, it increases their faith in you, the confidence, or that feeling that yes, we have a good supplier.
Positively, you can expect yourself to be in part of every project that they come with. They're extremely happy that you're doing auto gauging, you're doing auto recording, you have a CPCPK coming, you have a run chart coming, you have data coming, you have live data that you can share with your customer if he wants. You can send him a summary report of the month. He's extremely happy and is very, very confident that he's found the right supplier.
Right supplier, and of course the automation also. He knows that he will have the no delivery issues because of humans.
Yes, for sure. For sure, he knows that.
Thank you, Paras bhai.
A run rate study, today, any project that you do, a run rate study is the most important thing. Every customer of yours will come and verify and see that it is physically possible or not. And when they see that a robot doing the work, they know the run rate study that we have submitted, that we have given, is going to happen.
Right. Thank you, Paras bhai. Thank you. So now we give you another example, and I'm trying to give the viewers a wide spectrum of examples, various type of uses of robots, various types of innovation, and various types of components also. So sometime back, we had a heavy flywheel up to 90 kg. Now we come to a very small ring, which is called piston insert. This is an essential part of every diesel engine piston. Why is it essential? That this is casted within the aluminum piston, this cast and special cast and ring, and the piston rings sit on grooves within this cast iron because of the high compression ratios. So this is required. Now we got a challenge that we want from the customer, that we want a totally unmanned line, and they showed us the input, which was tubes of cast iron, special cast iron grade tubes. They said ये आपको देंगे और हमको finished inspected rings मिलने चाहिए. So we designed a linear line in which the first two spindles were doing rough turning, boring and parting off. So tube एक तरफ से बार फीडर से स्पिंडल के थ्रू फीड हो रही है ट्विन मशीन में दोनों तरफ से, and it's being turned, OD rough turned, bored, and then tuck parted, and these rings are coming out. These rings are then transported through conveyors to the next level, where robots pick up these rings, load, unload two spindles, put it on the gauging station. After gauging station certifies that ring is okay, then for the next operation, next machining operation. So you have operation 10 with bar or tube feeders, you can call them. And then you have operation 20 and 30 with robots doing the loading, unloading, and also auto gauging is going on. So this is one of the smallest areas in which you can have so many machines because it's in a straight line. I'll just show you the video. So friends, this was another example of innovative use of robots and automation, where we combined various things like bar feeders for one operation, then linear, this is a linear layout. So all the machines are in one line, were in one line. And robots loading, unloading in operation 20 and 30, and also doing the inspection with the gauging station. Now, here is another example of robots being used very innovatively. The first robot taking care of 4 spindles. The job here is motorcycle crankshaft. And the second robot taking care of 2 spindles. And both these first and second setup have auto gauging stations for auto correction. So this was again an example of 2 robots taking care of 6 spindles plus 2 gauging stations. So friends, by now you would have realized that how flexible, how versatile a robot is. Just imagine the variety of jobs we are showing you, the placements, movement on track, taking care of so many spindles, cleaning, deburring, inspecting. So this is the power of robots, that if you use them wisely, the robot can pay for itself very fast. Rather, the entire cell pays for itself very fast. And also, it's a fantastic way of attracting good buyers, whether they are the big companies, corporates in India, or they are your foreign buyers. This is a fantastic way of attracting such people. So I'll now move to the last part of today's webinar, which is about flexibility. And then we'll discuss with our panelists and answer questions. And some of the questions will be answered by the panelists who, being users and experienced users, will be probably in a better way to answer your questions. So now we come to the last quality. Let me just briefly recap. What were the first 3 innovations that we did with the robots? The first was placement, like on the roof or 2 back-to-back machines and on a pillar. So first thing was placement, or on the front matha of the machine. The second was using tracks. So using tracks to extend the reach of the robot, so that where you have sufficient cycle time of the component, so let the robot take care of more machines or more operations. Third innovation was making it do things which normally you don't do, which is things like deburring, cleaning with water, cleaning with air, putting on a laser station for inspection, and things like that. And finally, we come to a very, very important question. A lot of people ask me that we have small batches, every day we need to change, or every second day we need to change. And let me tell you, Mr. Paras Doshi, on one of the cells which we supplied to him about 5 years back for pinion, for a commercial vehicle, that's the part of the propeller shaft which goes into the differential. So for pinion, they have many models, and after the initial period when the people learned how to change the setups and all that, then it became very easy for their people to change the setups. But here what I'm going to show you is some more technologies which make life easier and which make flexibility a very reachable or achievable reality. So the first cell which I'm showing here, which you can see the photo, this is also one of the world's very unique machines, and we have filed a patent for this. The machine structure is like a traveling column machining center. It's like a traveling column, because we have loaded the job from the rear of the machine. देखिए, आप whoever is familiar with what a CNC machine, lathe machine is, will understand that the whole structure, slant structure, is facing you as an operator. So पीछे से अगर आप करोगे तो कहां से, जगह कहां है? तो हमने उस पूरे स्ट्रक्चर को, Z एक्सिस को, जिसके ऊपर एक X माउंटेड थी, उसको ट्रैवलिंग कॉलम की तरह उसको मूव कर लिया. सो इट मूव्स ऑन वन साइड, विंडो ओपन्स एंड लोडिंग अनलोडिंग इज डन. दिस इज वन वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फीचर, खूबी इस चीज की. दूसरी खूबी क्या है कि रोबोट, मेरा हाथ देखिए, अब रोबोट का एक रिस्ट होता है. वी गेट नॉर्मली अ रोबोट अप टू द रिस्ट, and then there is something called gripper which we buy from some other source and which is fitted onto this. So normally ये पक्का फिटिंग होता है, इसके बीच में से कई एयर का इलेक्ट्रिकल कनेक्शंस जाते हैं जिससे कि ये ऑपरेट करता है. Now there is a technology which we will show here, जिसमें ये रिस्ट डिटैच हो जाता है. एक किस्म का रिस्ट है which is good enough for, or gripper rather, which is good enough for one type of job. After doing that operation, it goes to a rack where it detaches the wrist and fits a new wrist. एक नया हाथ लग जाता है डिफरेंट टाइप के फिंगर्स के साथ. So this is a beautiful, flexible way in which you can, with one robot. Here, what we have shown is कि एक हम shaft की loading कर रहे हैं using a 2-finger gripper. फिर वो detach हो जाता है इससे, and then we have a 3-finger gripper जिससे gear blank load कर रहे हैं एक और machine पे. मतलब this is the limit of flexibility, that simultaneously you are loading two totally different jobs. So you can understand the level of flexibility. Please watch the video. Oh, sorry, I was on mute, so I'm explaining. In fact, I would like to go back a little because this needs explaining. Sorry for that. So here we are showing the ultimate flexibility. Initially you will see that from the back rear of the machine, the crankshaft is being loaded and unloaded. This is again a 2-wheeler crankshaft. So load unload hua. Again, you see the bed structure is moved to one side and to allow loading unloading. And then it comes to the inspection station. Part is inspected. And then it is placed outside. Now you will see the real interesting thing happen. The robot will come to a station where it will detach its wrist, rather its grippers, detach, and fit a new set of grippers within seconds. Now these new set of grippers are for a round job, for gear blank. So these are 3-finger grippers. ये 3-finger gripper को में gear blank पकड़ा और ये एक dummy lathe है जिसमें load unload कर रहा है ये. So see the level of flexibility. In seconds you can change the gripper and do a totally different operation. And now you will see a third operation. अब इसको detach करके there is a camera based inspection system to see surface defects. So ये camera इसने लगा लिया and now it is inspecting the job with the help of a camera, inspection camera. So this is the level of flexibility which is possible through technology. I will now give you another example of flexibility, and let me explain, because when you watch the video, you may not be able to clearly understand what all flexibility is given here. This cell has been supplied to another esteemed customer of ours who was to be a panelist, but unfortunately he got registered as one of the attendees. He is Mr. Nair, a highly experienced entrepreneur based in Faridabad. He machines gear blanks from forgings. So his challenge was that I have such a wide variety of jobs and small batches, because I'm making for 4-wheelers or whatever commercial vehicles. So my batch size is not very large. I cannot have 5,000 or 10,000 gears of one type. मुझे आप cell ऐसा दो जिसमें I can do 10 variants of gears, and the variants are varying a lot. It's not like very similar. बिल्कुल different है. 10 different किस्म के job दो, 10 किस्म की auto gauging करनी है मुझे. हर job को, हर model के लिए auto gauging. So I need quick change work holding. I need quick change robo gripping. I need quick change auto gauging. So that 10 types of jobs can be done, with some having a batch size, some jobs having batch size of few hundreds, not even thousands. Now the first challenge was in-feed. How do you design an in-feed system? Because normally what happens is, as you must have noticed in the previous videos, the jobs come in rows and columns or on a stand or a stack. They are arranged in such a manner that a blind robot, and please understand that a standard robot is blind. So a blind robot can also, it knows कि अब मुझे यहाँ से उठाना है, फिर उसके बाद उससे 100 mm दूर से उठाना है अगली बार, उसके बाद यहाँ फिर अगली रो में जाना है, something like that. So first challenge was that if 10 types of jobs are to be done, let us have a system where fixed position is not there. So we equipped the robot with a camera vision sensor, which was told when there was a job changeover, was told कि अब ये वाला gear पकड़ने का, and it had the data of the gear. So when the gear was coming on an ordinary conveyor, you know, it could be anywhere on the conveyor. So it knows कि okay, this is the right gear I have to pick up, and then it takes the coordinates, it calculates the center of that, and then it knows okay, I'll go and grab it like this. This was the first solution. Second solution was with the work holding, where we designed quick change, special jaws for the operations, and similarly fingers for the robot and for the gauging station. So the OD measurement, the ID measurement, height measurement, all this was easily changeable between the different models. Now please see the video to see all this in action. बस एक आध. So friends, this was the last video, and I hope you enjoyed this, and now we will answer a lot of your questions. I'm sure you would be full of thoughts about various aspects, and so I and my distinguished panelists, Mr. Parag and Mr. Paras Doshi, we will answer your questions. But before we come to the questions, I would like to conclude by saying that we are facing a very, very tough situation because of Corona. First of all, some workforce is going to go away. Number two, distancing norms and things like that. Number three, we need to improve the profitability of our factories. If we were satisfied with X% profit before Corona, now we need 2x or 2.5x or 3x, because first of all, we have to recover this. And with that profit, we improve our competitiveness. We go to new markets. We go to Europe. We go to Japan. We go to US. We sell our products there. And we also, with these profits, we also make ourselves shock proof. फ्यूचर शॉक्स के लिए अपने आप को तकड़ा करेंगे अगर पैसा होगा अंदर. और पैसा अंदर करने के लिए इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कि ऑल दी वेस्टेजेस which are associated with human operation, these are eliminated, and you work at much higher OEE. अभी पारस दोशी जी ने बताया था कि फॉरेन बायर्स जो हैं, they are highly delighted when they see these kind of cells with automation and auto gauging. They're very happy because they know they will get reliable delivery and quality. And with the higher OEE, you are going to operate your machines with much higher utilization, and that translates into profits. So before we answer your specific questions, we'll just see the concluding views or the, I would say, the opinion of Mr. Paras Doshi and then Mr. Parag. Paras bhai, how has been the presentation? Webinar rather?
Very, very good. It's very informative. It shows various ways where robot can be used, the way it can be, linked with other machines, and it would give a lot of people a lot of confidence that that is the way forward.
Right. And also, I think, Paras bhai, since you've been working with us on automation since more than 7 years now,
Yes.
it also shows our journey. But, when we started, people used to say, ye kya hai? Ye to, we suffered a lot of initial setbacks, about it, and how we overcome those jointly. So,
right? It was a big challenge, 7 years ago, it was a big challenge.
Right.
And we had to work together. We had to take the plunge and see what happens. And
Right.
I think I'm really proud that Marshall has really, moved so much way forward into automation. We'll have really taken this innovative ideas of yours, we've taken it way, way ahead. I mean, you'll have taken it to a different level altogether. And you are aware, whenever we have a new project and we don't talk about automation, we call you first. And that's all. We don't really need to go to anything else because we have the confidence now working with you.
Thank you. Paragji, you'd like to add something?
Yes, I think robot, as I think Mr. Doshi also said, is going to be the need of time with customers looking, and as everybody is talking about it, that India could be the next destination if people don't want to go to China. But if you look at China, the major difference between India and China is frankly the automation, because they are doing a lot of higher numbers. I think India
Much
was
higher,
never considered when
they consume the maximum
India was
robots in
never
the world.
considered. That's right. So that could be the need of time. Second thing is what everybody's talking about is now social distancing. So frankly, that is something that is again the required immediately. And I think, or else I think people will have to increase their floor space. So compared
Which
to
is
a floor
impossible.
space, I think putting a robot would solve the social distancing problem easily than increasing your floor space.
Right, sir. Right.